It will give you the ability to, metabolize fat and energy. It will change your hormonal levels. You've got ghrelin, which is responsible for hunger, leptin, fat burning. Things are not quite right. Welcome back everyone to another YouTube video every Monday. And in this particular video, we are talking about how to lose body fat quickly and easily. And once again, if you've watched my last few videos, I'm trying to keep these more informational ones to the point and give you some really key applicable takeaways. Now, in this video, I'm going to break it down into 3 main points that are going to help you achieve body fat loss in a way that is easy, fast, and sustainable. And the first point is NEAT. Some of you may have heard this before. It is an acronym for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And that is a fancy way of saying things that are not specifically exercise that you do that burn calories throughout your day. So for example, if you're someone who walks to work, that's NEAT. If you're someone who goes out on a recreational walk, that's NEAT. If you're someone who's got more of a physical job, that's NEAT. Everything you do where you're moving, cleaning, that's NEAT. So a really easy way to offset the energy balance in your day is to increase your NEAT. So a lot of people have coined the term, so, move more, eat less, or, NEAT up 24/7. To a degree, right? There's some people out there who are doing that. And what they're really getting at is that if you increase your NEAT, even if it's just small increments, and you do that over the week, that actually adds up to quite a few calories that you can burn or, create a greater calorie deficit. So more energy being expended to therefore reach your fat loss goals. And it doesn't have to be hard. For example, it could be getting up a little bit earlier, and it could be going for a walk in the morning or walking the dog. You should try and make it part of your day. The biggest thing is you want to make it realistic and sustainable, even if you have to start small, or again, make it something where it's part of your routine. It could be, I've got to check some emails, or, I want to write a Facebook post or something for business. I could do it while walking on a treadmill. It could even be getting a stand-up desk for those of you who have office jobs. You could be getting out and doing a bit of a lap every half an hour. The opportunities are endless. It could be going for a swim after you've done your workout in the gym. If you've got a pool, it could be doing 5 or 10 minutes of, really low steady state cardio, but generally you want to do it where it's not specific exercise. Catching up with a friend, going for a walk, taking, the stairs instead of the elevator, like all of these little things. You could park further away from your workplace and walk, and that adds up. So it's a really, really easy way to do it. It could be adding some walks on the weekend, and you'd be surprised at how many calories you can actually offset and burn by just increasing your NEAT, especially when you do it over a period of 7 days. So that's my first takeaway. I want you to identify things in your life that you can do based on your day-to-day activities that you can increase your NEAT on. The second point is whole foods. Now, whole foods are not magic. I am someone, and those of you who are regular, who've been watching for a while, know that I don't believe in clean versus dirty, and neither should anybody, because they are just context. It's just a marketing ploy, or it's a terminology, if you will, where clean food is related to things that are more wholesome and healthy, and dirty are things related to more processed and higher in calorie. So if you look throughout your diet, and again, you create some sort of food diary, you don't necessarily have to track everything, okay? I would recommend having some sort of metric or gauge on it, but ultimately, if you measure what you're doing, you can then manage and manipulate it. However, tracking is not for everyone, and it's not 100% necessary, but you do need to have some sort of idea of what's going on. So generally, when we track, we create an awareness. We actually start to understand, wow, okay, this is a high calorie food, this is a low calorie food, this is high in fat, this is high in protein, etc., etc. And over time, that is actually the main takeaway, because you start to go, okay, well, if I'm in a certain phase where fat loss is a priority, perhaps I'll avoid certain foods, or I'll decrease those intakes or quantities, or vice versa if you're trying to gain weight, etc. So you can just create these little sort of fluctuations and changes throughout your lifestyle depending on your current goal. Now, whole foods are generally higher in quality of nutrients. So for example, more nutrient dense, they've got vitamins, they've got minerals, hence why they're associated more with health foods, okay? It's generally harder to overeat in them to a degree. However, when we look at things like nuts and seeds and legumes, they're very palatable, they taste really good. And fats have more calories in them. They're not bad, but obviously they add up. So sometimes we see people going, you know, I eat really good, but I can't lose weight, but I've got a handful of nuts at every meal. They're snacking on things that are high calorie, peanut butters, things like that, oils, they're having salads, lots of cheeses. So it's not all about just eating healthy. That's a very generalized term. But for example, if you're someone who is having, say, some bread or some wraps, or, you know, a really high carb lunch, it might be rice, it might be pasta, and you swap that out for some potato or sweet potato or pumpkin in the same grammage amount, it will equal a lot less calories, and it will actually have more of a satiating, meaning it will make you feel more full and have that effect, rather than, oh, you know what, I only had a small amount of pasta and now I want more, and you have, you know, double, triple the calories. So all foods are not equal. And you can actually Google this. You can do like hedonic food scales on most satiating foods, white potato being one of them. And you can actually start to make these little additions and changes. You might be someone who has a soft drink. You might go to a sugar-free soft drink, and then you've saved, again, 200, 300, 400 calories. It might be, you know, you're having, for breakfast, you might be having some higher carb bread, and you switch it over to oats, or you switch it over to sourdough, or you go from bananas to berries. So there's all of these little shifts that you can do, but generally, by just eating more whole foods, and this is kind of why clean foods get this rap, like clean, dirty, clean's better. Someone that is generally just eating a diet that consists of a lot of processed foods who goes to whole foods will just lose weight initially because of that. And it could even be the actual total carbohydrate content, which we hold. When we hold more carbohydrates, we hold more water. You know, 80% of muscle and body weight is water. We hold more, so therefore that can increase body weight. It's the reason why we see a lot of these scams like isogenics and things like that, who are, and again, they do have their merit, but they're not necessary. And a lot of the time when you go from eating food to just liquid meals, of course, you're going to lose weight very rapidly. And that's not the goal here. We want to lose it fast and quickly, as it says in the title, but we want to do it in a way that's healthy and sustainable. There's only so fast we can gain muscle and lose fat in a way that is going to be congruent to health. And that is what we're about on this channel, doing things properly and testing and challenging what people think is actually possible from a natural standpoint. So there it is, guys, just switching out better choices and generally switching out more processed to whole foods. For the most part, it's still good to have some balance, will help you actually create that calorie deficit too. And the last point I want to make is sleep. And if I had to choose one, I would say that this is the most important. I've talked a lot about this in other videos, and I can put a link in the description below, or if you go back, I put it at the end of the video, you can see my video on sleep. I've done a podcast with Dr. Michael Grandner, who is an associate of the gentleman who written Why We Sleep, Matthew Walker. He's been on Joe Rogan. He's phenomenal in the field of neuroscience. He's obviously reiterating some of the things he's written, but sleep will single-handedly make or break your whole life. It will give you the ability to, you know, metabolize fat and energy. It will change your hormonal levels. You've got ghrelin, which is responsible for hunger, leptin, fat burning. Things are not quite right if you are underslept. You'll get sort of fake hunger cues that are not really realistic. This is why we love to see people who are doing night shifts and they are quite overweight because they think they're hungry and they're not, because all the hormones are up and down. You know, the focus, the longevity, the cognitive ability, the list goes on with sleep. I just can't stress how important it is. And stress being the key word there, because if you reduce stress on the body, on the mind, you'll find you'll make better decisions. You'll be able to do what the body needs to do. And that there is kind of like the domino effect, which will help you in all aspects of life, not only in fat loss as well. So something to consider there is sleep. And again, if you want more specific information to improve your sleep, a couple of points apart from going to listen to the podcast, which is much more in depth, is making sure you've got regular sleep and wake times, removing any distractions and technology before bed, creating a low light environment with nothing that has highly stimulating blue light, stimulating music, or anything like that. So I highly recommend getting all the technology out of the bedroom, which might be a big step for you, so start small. And again, having a nice clean space that's very relaxing and has positive association, that'd be my main key takeaways off the top of my mind that have helped me over the years improve sleep. And here's a bonus one for you. Alcohol is also a clincher because that will massively affect your ability to sleep and also metabolize fat, build muscle. It's not just about the calories in it, although that will obviously offset it, because in and of itself, it's another nutrient foreign to the body. It's a poison, it's a toxin, but it will hinder your ability to metabolize fat and achieve your health goals in general. I'm gonna leave it there. I did a lot of talking just then, and I'm looking at the video and I'm like, yeah, okay, we're 10 minutes in. So guys, there are my 3 main points, and I can assure you, if you apply these, you will be much more successful in your fat loss endeavors. It's a really, really easy way to start losing body fat, to improve your health, and doing it in a way that's a little bit faster, more sustainable, and it's going to help you in all aspects of your life as well. Now, if you like the video, I'll please ask kindly to like the video, comment if you want to see something specifically, or if you've got something positive to say, and of course, subscribe for weekly videos, hit that bell icon, and until next week, stay fearless.